Hi, I'm Emma,
And I'm Wynn.
and we're from the Santa Barbara Middle School Teen Press, here today with...
Lisa Landers.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we have a couple questions for you today.
What gave you the idea to divide this film into different sections or chapters?
So I really think of the Redwoods story as a tale, like you would read a fairy tale book, and it's a fairy tale kind of landscape too, right? And so dividing it into chapters just sort of was a device that I could use to both evoke the idea of reading the tale of some magical enchanted forest, but also a way of organizing the different parts of the information that I thought were most critical to telling the Redwoods tale.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, why did you choose the perspectives of the people you had in the movie?
So I have seen a lot of other pieces about redwoods where they'll just talk about redwoods and climate change, or they'll just talk a little bit about the activism to protect them, or a little bit about the culture, but I never really saw one that wove it all together. And for me, I really felt like what interests me about redwoods and forests in general is how all of those things come together. So I went and I researched to try to find people, scientists, who could tell me about the scientific wonders, to try to find people who have a deep cultural tie to it, and that's how I found the Yurok tribe. And then I really had all these questions about, why did these redwoods make me feel so connected and so awestruck? So I went and found a social psychologist who studies exactly that, and just brought them all together in this sort of tapestry of a story that is the redwoods.
Yeah, thank you. What drew you to the redwoods, instead of other trees?
It's hard to explain, but the feeling when you walk in I love all trees, by the way. My favorite tree as a kid growing up was a maple, and I love all trees. But there's something about going into a redwood forest. It's the quality of the sound. It's like just after a first snowfall, it's really quiet. The smell, that damp earth smell. And then their height, it's just this sort of cathedral-like feeling. And you can't help but sort of feel that you're in the presence of something just bigger. Bigger than all of our little problems, bigger than everything. And I just found a lot of tranquility and healing in the forest. So.
Thank you.
How did you figure out about the Yurok tribe, and how did it inspire you in the film?
I just found out about the Yurok tribe from doing research online, and I reached out to them, and they right away said, hey, come and film us carving a canoe. And the more time I spent with members of the Yurok tribe, the more I understood their deep, deep connection and how they really see the forest as, they're not separate from the forest. We see forest, we put it in a park, and it's separate for us. But for them, it's always been that we are equal parts in terms of, the way our lives intertwine with the forest. We're not separate from nature, we're a part of it. And as we figure out how to care for the forests and restore them, it has to be from that perspective, which is slightly different from the one that we really have here.
What made you want to include the fires in Giants Rising?
So I was in the middle of filming a short film for Big Basin State Park for their visitor center about an endangered bird called the marbled murrelet. And in the middle of the filming, the fires happened. And so we had to stop our filming, and I just happened to be there when that happened. And I realized, wow, this is a really important part of the story. And so that's what happens with documentaries, right? Like you sort of never know what's going to unfold. And so when that happened, I thought, wow, this is happening to the very first Redwood Park. This is an important part of the story, and about how we can find solutions to, make sure that things like this don't happen again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Great
much.
question.
Yeah. Thank